Hey, what's going on, MD? Evan Sensapani here at East Hartford Gold. We're going to go through a shoulder workout here today. I didn't really use any machines, and I think it's important to maybe emphasize the basics. And I think there's a lot of people that, depending on what type of gym you train in, or there's all different types of machines, and you think, this machine's cool, or it's always nice to sit down on a piece of equipment and push, versus standing or doing anything. Free weight typically requires a little bit more effort, but I think the results speak for themselves. I think that if you look back at some of the best physiques, a lot of them were built with just most basic of exercises. Dorian training out, in a basement in England on some of the most modest equipment. Arnold, all those guys back then, just training basic and hard and heavy. Ronnie and Branch down in Texas. I think free weights and just work training hard and heavy just produces some of the best results. Kind of an interesting side note, just 2 days ago, my little brother, he's 16, he's a soccer player. He doesn't take a whole lot of interest in weight training, ironically, but he came with me to the gym. He wanted to come, and I trained chest, and I kind of put him through a chest workout. And on a lot of the free weight, so all we did was pretty much all free weights. Dumbbell presses, barbell presses, dumbbell flies, and on a lot of the movements, he was going through the range of motion. He was a little bit shaky, and I started telling him, you're going to notice, today, like we just did free weight exercises, but if you can master all the free weight movements, all that shakiness that you have, that's because you don't have the stabilizer muscles built. And if you the more you work at it, and the more you work with free weights, you're going to build all those stabilizer muscles, and you're just going to develop a body that's bigger and thicker and stronger than guys who use a lot of machines. And when he was on the bench, he at one point he kind of almost dropped the bar. And I said, I don't want you to think that free weights are dangerous, because if they're done properly, I think they're much more natural to your body. You're able to guide a free weight through a range of motion that's most natural to your body, versus being on a machine, which may, it's very possible that it might work well for your body, but either, more often than not, it's forcing you through a range of motion that it's a lot of time it's not natural to your body. And I think a lot of the injuries that do occur happen on machines, ironically. I've noticed in videos of guys training, or and hearing guys speak about their training, they'll be a couple weeks out from a show, and they'll say, I'm a couple weeks out, and I'm going higher reps, and I'm doing some machine work, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, I don't think, at 2 weeks out, obviously you're not going to push your body to the extent maybe that you would in the off season when you're trying to gain new muscle. At 2 weeks out from a show, obviously your goal is not to gain new muscle. But that being said, I think what puts the muscle there in the first place is going to be, largely, it's going to be what keeps it there. And I think, if you build legs with heavy squats and leg presses and deadlifts and this and that, I think that's what you have to continue to do, more or less right up to the show, if you're going to hope to retain as much muscle as you can. I think it's kind of a use it or lose it situation, where if all of a sudden you're using lighter weight and doing bullshit exercises, I don't think your body's going to feel a need to retain that muscle. But if you're training heavy and intense and with big compound movements, I think your body's going to feel that stress and respond by hanging on to that muscle. If you think about it, somebody mentioned this, it's kind of like a marathon runner. You're training for a marathon, and you have a certain style through so many weeks. You're running on the road, you're running so many miles. Then all of a sudden, 2 weeks before the marathon, you start running indoors on a treadmill. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It would make most sense to continue to do, more or less what's given you the results all along, and led you down the right path. Something that I thought was interesting, I've had people ask me before about rest intervals in between sets, and almost instinctively from the time I began training, I've always kind of maybe taken longer rest periods in between sets, 2-3 minutes. If it's something like heavy squats or deadlifts, it could be anything. It could be 5 minutes, whatever it takes until I'm ready to go. But I know guys who've had success with 30-second rest intervals. I think it's most important to do what you feel comfortable doing. Me, I've always felt like training with too little rest in between sets, the muscle isn't fully recuperated. I can't go full capacity and push as much weight as I normally would be able to, and I like to be able to use the maximum amount of